Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you by the Frontline Gaming. We're your host, Kicker, the chief of cereal, and our FLG insider, Shelby, the hobby guru, and most scatterbrain player in 40K. And I am Seth, the Mad Doc, your competitive correspondent. What has everyone been up to?
Guys, I have been painting some more stuff. I'm loving this. Like, I started painting orcs, and it's kind of fun to switch from like robotic imperial, armor to going straight over to just like organic skin and cloth and goofy miniatures. Like, they got so many little details on them that are funny.
Goofy.
Dude, did you see the commandos have like little Swiss Army knives on them? Like little orcs Swiss Army knives? Have you seen those?
Goofy? You mean tactical.
Tactical.
I built a Khopesh because I'm continuing in my foam prop building craziness.
I can't be the only person in the world that doesn't know what a Khopesh is. So why didn't you explain that?
It's an Egyptian sword. I modeled it after the Scarab called Terminator swords. Okay. I modeled it off of that. And I didn't paint that one. I'm just going to give it to my buddy Connor, and he can paint it because he's painting up Thousand Suns. I got back on the hobby train, started painting some orcs because I have an RTT coming up in like 2 weeks, and I actually need to paint some of the new stuff to get ready.
Nice, man. Nice. So I'm excited, and I believe it's a special someone's magical day.
It is. This is indeed Peter the Falcon Calissimo's birthday, and this is the lovely man himself. Maybe it'll scroll down, maybe not. I think our producer's dealing with bigger issues. There we go. That is the lovely face of Peter the Falcon. So if you see Peter online, because you're not going to see him in person because he's a hermit that lives in the Arctic Circle, wish Peter a happy birthday, because that man does an incredible amount of work for this community and does it for free. So thank you, Peter. You are a true champion. If they ever do that 40K champions thing again, we got to nominate that guy.
Yeah, like, how is he not a Warhammer hero yet? Like,
yeah, that thing. Yeah, he needs to be a hero.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's a legit thing.
I'll lead that campaign.
All right, cool. Well, guys, I'm going to take us into action figure time.
All right.
If you don't mind, I'm very excited. Did you guys hear about the new action figures? Come on, Seth, you heard about these things.
Yeah, I heard about them.
Yes, McFarlane Moore has released more action figures for 40K. I don't care who you are, what army you play. If you don't like action figures, there's something wrong with you, and these action figures are amazing. They've just released the Reaver, the Nids, a couple of orcs. Like, I'm just blowing up with excitement here. I'm a giant kid. Let's be honest. And I love 40K. Being able to just, right, we're all giant kids, right?
Yeah,
we're all playing with our toys.
We're hosting a show about toy soldiers, Kicker.
Right,
like,
exactly, right. So I guess we're all just giant children. I don't know though, man. Like, I don't have many other action figures at my house, but I'm so drawn to these 40K ones. Maybe because I paint them and I think about them all the time, like the 40K all the time, and I obviously go to tournaments and stuff. I just love the idea of having an action figure to give to my son, who's only 16 months. I mean, he has no idea how to play 40K, but he can play with an action figure. So
true.
That's my game plan. And there's also a new Necromunda like mech character thing.
Oh yeah, the Doc Ock, but in 40K, and bring me Spider-Man.
So that model was just announced this week, and it's basically like a spider suit kind of thing. It's for Necromunda, so yeah, maybe you won't play that game, but that model has so much conversion potential. I can totally see that being, like one of the Phobos Marine like war suits, or maybe even a Dreadnought. I'm all about like conversion potential.
Sir, you are building and painting orcs. How have you not decided that is going to be a Def Dread?
I mean, it could be a Def Dread. It can totally be a Def Dread. Good. Although it's a little sleek. I mean, the Van Sar, that's the Necromunda gang it's being made for. It's a little sleek for
you can dirty it up.
I can dirty it up. Well, we've got dude, Seth, the big rules released was the Orc FAQ. That was released. That's the only kind of rules thing we got. You're going to talk about more of that in the competitive section, though, so I don't want to step on your toes. But in one sentence, yay or nay? What are you thinking?
Yay. What other new products we got from FLG?
So nothing on the new product front. But we did do our I guess our open-ended question the other day, on the Frontline Gaming community group chat, page there. We're asking people what holidays, if any, are okay to have 40K tournaments on, because we're really curious. Frontline Gaming is trying to roll out more and more events. We right now have 8. We're probably going to be having 10 by this time next year, and we're trying to figure out.
After that, every day will be a FLG event.
Every single weekend will be a Frontline Gaming event.
Every day.
Every day. All right, we can make that happen one time. Maybe
one time.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Do you understand the concept of everyday Kicker? I mean, like, it's every day. It's not like once in a while.
Okay. Well, we would like to have an event once a month if we can across the country. And we're looking to expand, but we're not sure. Is it faux pas to do a major event on a national holiday? And so we asked people, it's an open-ended question, and we got a lot of different feedback. Basically, though, it looks like some holidays are totally okay. Memorial Day, President's Day, Columbus Day, Labor Day, those are okay days for 40K tournaments, but other ones are a little bit more sacred. And a lot of people were very adamant that they don't want a 40K major on a holiday because that's family time. What do you think, Seth?
I mean, yeah, I certainly understand the family conflict. I don't, behind the scenes, behind the green screen. It's just my wife and I. We don't have any kids, but definitely families with kids. I could see holidays being a lot harder to deal with than holidays without having kids, because you can rotate around. Okay, this year I'm going to go home and see, or go back to do whatever family event. But when you have kids, people tend to frown on you for skipping out. So I could see there being a conflict there.
So my thoughts were, right, if you have a 3-day weekend, or you already have the time off, you can travel maybe with your family, go to a cool location, your family can have a little vacation, you can play some 40K. But you're right, during the day you're not hanging out with your kids, you're busy playing with your toys.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of interesting, though. A lot of people are like, don't have it on holidays. It's not about family time. It's about the expenses. Hotels, travel, that can all be really expensive over a holiday. And that is true. But we are able to get some really good rates, at least for the venue over the holidays.
Yeah. And I certainly think that is a big consideration. Aesthetic Deluxe says, give me a reason to skip Thanksgiving with the family. I'm down with that, man. I actually, the week after Thanksgiving, I took a cruise, and it was like 60% of what it was the week before cost wise, because they were just like, yeah, no one wants to travel that week. So I think, looking around the calendar for those cheap weekends, because you did a poll way back when, like, what do guys want out of events, and they really cost is a significant consideration. So if holidays also offset the cost, I think that works out well.
People were adamant that the number one feature when I asked them, like, what could we work on at Frontline Game or like in an event, is they just wanted to save money, have affordable hotels, have affordable events. So anyway, it was really interesting to get feedback. I definitely will not be doing an event on Christmas or Hanukkah or any of those really, really important holidays. But maybe
I could go for a Christmas event.
No, you go for a Christmas event. Memorial Day actually is the Bay Area Open. That's every year in San Francisco. So that will be a thing. But like Columbus Day, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I do want to roll right around to some of the stuff that's happening with Frontline Gaming that I'm really excited about. We have the New Orleans Open. Yeah.
You can hear me.
They're back.
Shelby's back,
everyone.
I have so many thoughts. Actually,
Shelby,
I don't have that many thoughts.
You don't have that many thoughts? Oh, come on.
Okay. So what am I up to? I'm going to get a tattoo tomorrow. I'm super excited. I'm brainstorming some Necron stuff. I don't particularly understand your obsession with toys, Kicker, but that's okay. I also enjoy the idea of going on a holiday 40K thing. And I think important reminder here, folks, that I think having an FLG event over a holiday does not necessarily mean that takes the spot of another FLG event not over a holiday. I don't think that necessarily will remove that option from other folks. There will still be plenty of events. I don't know. Could be wrong. Anyways, hey, how's it going?
Oh, KR Quinn.
Yeah,
that's smart.
What's KR Quinn saying?
He said, did you cross-reference this with people who actually bought tickets to majors?
Ooh.
I mean, I think that's a really good question.
That is, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We need to do that more.
All right, so that's all Kicker's doing all day tomorrow, is cross-referencing every comment with previous, event attendance.
It's just, the only people's votes that really count are the people that actually go to events. Right, guys? Well, speaking about holidays, the New Orleans Open is not over Christmas. It's 3 weeks before Christmas, the weekend of December 11th. But New Orleans is a very magical place that time of the year. You got Christmas lights all up and down the city streets. It's gorgeous. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little about the New Orleans Open, in that it is going to be going on sale. Tickets are going on sale next week. Yeah!
If I had a soundboard, I would make that sound.
Yeah, right? We don't have a soundboard. Do we have a soundboard? We should get a soundboard.
I think Richard would kill me if I had a soundboard.
No, but there's Papa Val.
Papa Val. Papa
Val.
Val heard my request for a soundboard, and he came in to say no.
He says no soundboard.
But yeah, guys. So the New Orleans Open tickets will be going on sale next
Can we make Papa Val
Thursday.
carry signs?
We can make him do anything we want. So
next week, tickets.
Yes, thank you. Next week, tickets, New Orleans Open, they will be going on sale at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This event is going to be a smaller event because it is smack dab in the middle of the French Quarter in New Orleans. We can only have so much space. It's a very nice facility, and we couldn't afford more space.
You said it was at the Sheraton, right?
It is at the Sheraton in the French Quarter.
I stayed there a couple years ago for a work conference, and when he says it's in the French Quarter, like you cross the street and it's Bourbon Street.
Yes.
Oh, that's
like you cross. It's on Canal, right?
It's on Canal. You are absolutely correct.
So it's on Canal. So you literally cross over Canal and you're on Bourbon Street. So it's not like you're like, hey guys, the event's done for the day. Let's go get an Uber across town. It's like, hey guys, the event's done.
Go.
You're in the French Quarter.
Yeah. Right there,
like
I'll go
Cafe Du Monde is like 5 minutes away. Go.
Exactly. So it's a beautiful like location, but also the ballroom we have. We don't have like your stereotypical ballroom. We have a bougie as fudge ballroom on the 8th floor that is just gorgeous. It's the Armstrong Ballroom. It's where you'd have like beautiful weddings and bar mitzvahs and all that stuff. The ballroom is overlooking the entire French Quarter and the Mississippi River. It's way too nice to be playing with our toy soldiers. Sorry, my dog's in the background. If you can hear that, I apologize.
My bird's in the background too.
It's fine. He's a good boy. He's just excited. He's excited for the New Orleans Open. So
can you spoil for us potentially how many tickets you think there will be?
Okay, we're gonna have around 200 tickets for 40K. We might be adding in a few more, but that is we just can't put that many more players in there.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's still gonna be big. Yeah, it's still gonna be big.
And what's the most important reason to go to this event, Kicker? What is the most important reason?
Hang out in New Orleans.
Yeah, hanging out in New Orleans with your buddies.
No, wrong. Wrong.
Sorry. Wow, I did not
know.
The
most important reason for you, the listener out there, to buy your ticket next Thursday is because the three of us will be there.
Oh, that's like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Yes. Yeah. Woohoo.
You could have a cereal contest, Kicker.
Oh yeah.
People could try to out cereal knowledge you.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, like I know more cereal trivia than anyone else should know. This is embarrassing. But
Shelby will have to make some sort of event for you to run.
But guys,
I mean, yeah, sure.
There will be 40K. There will be Legion and X-Wing for sure. Most likely Age of Sigmar. Like I said, space is tight, so we're trying to figure out what we're going to fit in there. But I wanted to say that we're doing something really exciting that we're announcing like right this second. For New Orleans Open, we'll be doing a standard ticket for 40K, but we'll also be doing a premium ticket that will include so much stuff you're not going to believe it. It's going to have your tee, it's going to have your objective markers, all the awesome stuff that you'd want with the New Orleans Open logo on it, as well as a Frontline Gaming Army tray and a bunch of other stuff. So you can get your ticket. Yeah, it's going to like literally have everything you could possibly want and more for really good price.
I'll get that right.
Yeah,
so when you say that it's going to have our tee, do you mean there's going to be like some nice brewed tea?
Oh my God!
Yes.
Kicker. Whiskey Lima has the best idea.
All right, shoot. Let's hear it. What's
we call that ticket Frontline Plus.
Snap! I love it.
I think that might upset some folks.
Yeah, no, I love it. The Frontline Plus. I love it. Well, there will be
a Plus experience.
I mean, I think we've already got the ticket in the web cart loaded up on the back end as premium ticket, but we might be able to change it. But if you guys are coming to the Frontline Gaming New Orleans Open in December, check out the premium ticket because you probably are going to want to go with that over your standard ticket.
Is there going to be a coin?
Oh, dude, of course. Yes, there is going to be an amazing challenge coin that you'll get, as well as a few other little things that I don't want to share just yet.
Coin if you
wait, one other thing I got to tell you about this. I'm sorry, and then I'm going to stop talking about the New Orleans Open.
Oh my gosh.
I just finished negotiating this like 2 hours ago. Every single person that goes to Frontline Gaming New Orleans Open, their ticket will allow them to get discounted tickets at the World War II Museum right down the street, which is an epic museum. If you've ever seen like Saving Private Ryan or any awesome World War II museum, this museum will bring you tears to your eyes. Like it's a gorgeous. It's actually the #1 tourist attraction in New Orleans. Did you know? So yes, not only can you go play Warhammer all day long, but on the Friday before or Sunday after, you can go play go check out the museum. So moving right along, guys. Frontline Gaming is looking to hire somebody. Who wants a job? Yeah,
I do.
woohoo. Yeah, right. You do. Okay.
Better than our job. I'm assuming like where you actually get paid. Like
yes,
money?
this is a paying job.
Cool.
Let me. So Reese gave me this little job description here. I want to read to you guys. We're looking for terrain designers. Frontline Gaming is looking for the community members who are skilled in the art of designing MDF terrain. If you have the requisite skill set using CAD or similar design software and understand how to produce not only compelling designs for miniature terrain, but also how to produce the necessary files for cutting them, then we're looking to pay you for your talents. Email Frankie. His email and the link to the job description is in the show notes. So guys, who wants to design terrain for us? Come on, Shelby. Come on, you got skill set here.
Are you saying that I have any like creative bone in my body? Is that what you're saying? That's bananas.
Bananas. Oh well, Seth. Okay, Seth, you just built me a bolt gun.
Oh yeah, Seth could totally do it. Yeah.
Seth, you could totally do this, right?
Yeah, but I did that all with pen and paper, and then yeah. So the technical part. Let me just explain that I frequently kill technology by touching it. My mere presence.
Is that why my mic was dead?
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that Shelby's mic was my fault. So the aesthetics, the concept, I'm on it.
But you don't have
the actual being able to create a file in a computer and then make it cut things. I might bore a hole to the center of the earth.
Ideally, we're looking for the creative person and the person that has the capable skill set, the CAD, software experience and whatnot. So if you do know someone that is interested, please have them email Frankie. Once again, the link is in the show notes to the job description. Shelby, why don't you take us into some very interesting conversation about, I think, toys? Is that what we're talking about?
I mean, like, not yet. Just almost there. We're almost.
I'm really
there.
excited to talk about toys, though.
I can tell.
All right.
Before we move on to a conversation about toys, what I would like to do first is to give you guys a breakdown of some shows and notes that you guys should maybe go back and listen to from last week, and some stuff to look forward to for this week. So the Chief Librarian, unlike 40K Stat Center, keeps pumping out some episodes for you guys to listen to.
Oh, that's a dig.
So I honestly, sorry, I'm really sorry. Was that too much? I think that was too much. Okay. Anyways, so this most recent episode of the Chief Librarian, they apparently had just kind of hosted session 0 of their Crusade campaign that they're planning out, and there's a few sound issues and some stuff for you to work through and listen to, but overall it seems like an interesting thing to hear about. I didn't know there were session 0s for this sort of thing, kind of like there are session 0s for D&D. So that's new information to me and kind of cool. He also moves on later in the last half of the episode to talk about a review of the book The Infinite and the Divine, which I've heard a lot of really good things about. And he also discusses the Fury of Magnus, and it is not spoiler free. So if you want to hear about the books and the lore without hearing spoilers, that is not the show that you should listen to. You should go elsewhere. So yeah. Thursday show from last week discusses an Australian team event. I don't know which one, but if you're into that sort of thing and you're particularly interested in the breakdown of a team meta, you should definitely tune into that. And then if our information is correct, then last night the Grim After Dark had Mitch Pelham on as their guest. Cool, awesome. And you should tune in and listen to them chat with Mitch. In the near future, like right after this, you can listen to Chapter Tactics. Not entirely sure what they're going to be talking about, but if you like that show, you should listen to it. Tactics in a variety of chapters. Then the Thursday show, of course, is you can listen to it in terms of any up GTs or majors or anything coming up this weekend. Do you guys know of any big events that are coming up either here or otherwise?
Not coming up event wise.
Fair enough. Like this weekend at least.
Yeah, I think this weekend's a little quiet. Next weekend, obviously, there's the Las Vegas team event, and I think the LGT is also going off next weekend.
Right. Yeah. For sure. So soon there will be some super awesome stuff for you guys to tune into. But I'm sure the Thursday show will track down something for them to report on. I'm just not sure what it's going to be.
I'm sure they can find something. Adam Camilleri could talk about paint for an hour.
He really could, and everybody would love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. And then as far as I know, next week on the Grim After Dark, so next Tuesday, you can tune in for the return of Taylor. I think is what's scheduled. I'm not sure what they're going to talk about, but I know Taylor is extremely entertaining and very spicy. So That should be a fun show.
Yeah.
Awesome. Am I missing anything? Forgetting anything? I think
Nothing I can think of.
I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's a new episode of Game Changers with Steve Joel yet. I
Nope.
don't think. I didn't see one. Hopefully soon. I really, really enjoy listening to Steve Joel. That should be good. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, toys.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure really what to talk about this week because I'm very indecisive and bad at like choosing anything. And Kicker was like, Shelby, can we talk about toys? And I was like, okay, let's talk about toys because honestly, I think that's pretty relevant. They just announced, right? Like, so we talked about this a little while ago, but they just announced a line of like 8 more toys. A few of them are just different options of the same sort of toy, but they're the McFarlane like relatively tall action figures of Gene Stealers, orcs, Space Marines, all sorts of stuff. And I don't think they have like a lot of movable options or different things that you can choose to put on them. But I mean, they seem kind of cool. Like, I guess like on the one hand, this is neat.
Mhm.
On the other, I just really need to know who this is for. I just need to know why Games Workshop, I need somebody to explain to me like I'm 5, why Games Workshop was like, you know what we really need to go all in on? Not children's toys, but adult-sized toys, because the ones we currently make are not good enough. I don't get it. So please help. I have more thoughts, but help.
I think it's very easy to answer that question. It's and Shelby, this is a wider gamer term you probably have heard before, but it's shelf candy to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
my plan is to totally get the artist proof, paint that up, and put it on my desk at work.
So can you get them either painted or proofed?
There's usually they make one like sculpt that they'll do in an artist proof, and then they'll do multiple like pre-painted sculpts. And I guess you could buy the pre-painted ones and paint them yourselves.
With this release, there's a Nid, there's a Space
Yeah.
Marine, and an Orc that are all
Several
artist proofs. Yeah.
There's a knob and a mega knob.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, there's 2 different weapon options. Like there's
Oh,
a
wow.
knob with there's a mega knob with like dual kill saws and one with, claw and shooter. So yeah, I think they're shelf candy for the most part.
Well, I think it's also creative strategy on GW's part because get them while they're young, right? I'm not going to buy my son a GI Joe. I'm going to buy my son a Space Marine or an Orc.
Yeah, but these are huge, right? Like these aren't even like young.
They're
kids
big,
toys.
but I mean, GI Joes, old school GI Joes were pretty big too, like the full
yeah,
size,
like 7-inch action figures.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Fair enough.
that's pretty
Okay.
And
standard.
so if I can get my kid, because I don't want to buy him just a Ninja Turtle. I mean, Ninja Turtles are cool. I had Ninja Turtles, but if I saw a Ninja Turtle action figure or a Space Marine action figure, I'm going to buy my son a Space Marine action figure, and then hopefully he'll start playing with it, and then hopefully he'll be corrupted or brainwashed to love 40K as much as I do, and then he becomes the next generation of 40K customer. I mean, like at least that's what I'm assuming GW is considering as well, because they've also rolled out the children's books, which we know.
Yeah.
They've rolled out isn't there a
Yeah.
plush toy now? There's like a
There's
Yeah,
a
there's
little
plushies.
Nurgle, and I will admit that is my type of shelf candy.
Yeah, and
I
I think
will get that stupid freaking plushie.
and I think from a this is probably a better topic for Papa Val to address, but from a business standpoint, I think what they're trying to do is it's called the shotgun approach, and because they're licensing their IP out to so many different game
Yeah.
developers.
We're talking
They're
Marvel.
they've
to
licensed
Monopoly.
out these models to Bandai and McFarlane. They're making plushies. They're making shirts. They're just giving us everything and seeing what sticks, I think, is their plan right now. They're like, we don't know if you prefer to have a $200 fancy Bandai model or a $40 McFarlane model. We're going to make both, and you're going to see which one sells more, and then that's the one they're going to go back to the trough on, I think, is they're gonna be like, okay, this is the thing that sells. Do more of that.
That's fair, because my follow-up to the discussion about the action figures themselves was going to be like talking about the other gajillion types of product they've been exploring, like all of the different merch, the shirts, the leggings, the hoodies, the everything that I didn't think they would have merch for. I mean, I've seen the Harley, like all of those different leggings. I have considered at least a dozen times buying them, and I've just never pulled the trigger on it. Partially because they're sourced out of the UK, and I'm worried it's going to take like several months to actually get here.
Take some time.
But if anybody happens to have those Harlequin leggings in a size large, holler at your girl. I'll pay you for them. If they are conveniently accessible, I will buy
Let
them.
me check my closet.
Sorry.
and GW's really like doubling down on this though, right? They're not just selling a few shirts. Like they created an entire
Like a whole
portal
line.
that is just their merch, their apparel, and their posters and all that stuff.
Yeah, like you can go get like prints made of all their artwork now. Like I'm thinking of kind of gussying up the orc set, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll go and get a couple cool orc prints and put them in the back of my room or something for filming. Like, I think you can do a lot of that kind of stuff, and maybe they don't sell well, maybe they sell poorly, and then they're like, cool, we're not gonna invest in that again. But a lot of it, I think, from a business standpoint, is they are licensing. They are not selling themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
sure.
This is not
like GW is not like, we're going to fund all this stuff.
Yeah, they're like, you pay us, you build the product, and if it sells well, we'll negotiate another round of whatever.
So I think low risk for GW, but what's also good is it's allowing, I guess I don't use the word the professionals, but GW makes miniatures. They don't make action figures. Let an action figure company make a kick-ass action figure.
That's pretty respectable. I like that they weren't like, let's just weirdly try this thing. Right. I appreciate that they decided to let other folks do it. No, I think that all definitely tracks. That all makes sense. So have you guys personally bought any of these things yet, out of curiosity?
Hold my beer. Okay, so okay. As soon as I heard they were releasing all the merch, like the T-shirts and stuff, I went a little ape shit and I bought a lot. Yeah, I got like my Astra Militarum hat, like, and I wear this thing. I feel like such a cool kid, right? I go pick up my son at school, like the carpool line, wearing my little Astra Militarum hat, and like it kind of looks a little military, but it's obviously just 40K. I don't know. I got my Aquila polo, so when I look serious but also still represent, I can go wear my collared shirt with my little Imperium Aquila on there. So I definitely think this stuff is worth buying because obviously we love the hobby and we want to like sport it and show it off. But also, at least I can speak for the apparel stuff. It's legitimately good quality. I have a background in manufacturing, and I really look at the details, everything from the stitching quality to the tag placement on the back of the label placement. Like I'm really big into the details like that, and the quality of all their stuff that I have purchased, at least in terms of apparel, has been really good, like surprisingly good. So I can speak to that. That the hat quality is like, this is not a cheap hat to make. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed. What about you, Seth? Have you bought anything?
I haven't gotten into a ton of things. I got some of the pop vinyls. I got an artist proof of that because I wanted to paint that up again as desk candy. I haven't gone. I've looked at a lot of the other stuff. You're seeing behind me the reason why I haven't bought any of their orc stuff, because all their orc stuff is green. So if I ever choose to wear it in front of a green screen, I'm going to be a ghost Seth.
That's
so
fair.
I kind of steered away from that a little bit. But I've looked at a lot of their stuff. I think I'm just a shelf candy guy. Like we have like massive bookshelves upstairs behind me, full of like books and video games and old Nintendo consoles and that kind of stuff. So like pop vinyls and movies.
I feel like this is making me feel like one day we should do like a behind the scenes of the host offices and just see like what sort of shit we just have in our rooms. I think that would be really fun.
That's the kind of stuff I like. I wouldn't say scolded by my wife, but I get questioning looks when I acquire more nerd apparel because she's like, you have too many T-shirts already.
And then she'll be like, what can I get? It is my turn. Is she not like that?
No. My wife, you have to usually convince her to buy stuff for herself.
Oh.
So. All right, Shelby, is there something that you want GW to make? Like if you could have any sort of random, merch or, shelf candy stuff, like is there something you'd want? Because you don't have anything yet from them other than miniatures.
Sorry. Come back to it. Honest. So okay, as ridiculous as it is, the first thing that popped into my head was if they would officially license cosplay stuff for some of their things. I would be all up in that. But like, I mean,
that
their
would
biggest
destroy
thing,
my young
Marine suit
business.
Space Marine suit.
Not like props, Seth, like not props of their weapons, but like I think it would be really easy for them. Yeah, you're totally fine. Like I was just like immediately like, man, it sure would be great if they made like a solitaire cloak. I'd be all about that. But that seems really stupid and probably absurdly expensive. So yeah,
we can dream.
We sure can. Other than that, I'd have to think about it.
Cool.
Seth, you want to tell us about some competitive stuff?
No.
Oh, well, That was a good show, guys.
Good job.
Yay.
All right. So in the competitive side of things, the kind of the big thing that's happened this week was they released the FAQ for the Orc Codex. Now that the full, well, I wouldn't say the full release, the full rules release is in the wild, but we're still missing a few models. GW, I really would like a Beast Blossom Squigosaur and a Kill Rig. Please, K, thanks, bye. If you're listening, I mean, just saying, I am a big Orc fan and I love models and I buy all of them.
They're totally listening.
They are listening.
But anyway, so a lot of the FAQ, I think it was like Friday, they updated the app with all the rules. And so a lot of this stuff was kind of already in the app. Like you could tell they were going to drop an FAQ soon with a bunch of cleanup things. And that's really what it was. It was a lot of cleanup things and loophole things. So, they fixed a few wording on a few stratagems and rules that were a little like they changed the Blood Axe one from the Warlord trait from deploy, after the deploy forces step, you redeploy stuff to after the deploy armies step, because technically that is the step's name, not deploy forces. So, little things like that. Kind of some of the other big changes out of the Codex, they added that a few units to be eligible for the specialist mobs. So like Boosted Blasters now can be Pyromaniacs, so they can get better flamer shots. They eliminated some of the loopholes, like the extra custom jobs for our the custom weapons. Adding an extra shot to custom Mega Blasters cannot go on any of the vehicles. It can only go on the mech models. So that made sense. They got rid of the using Grot shields and using Makari as the Grot, and then not letting you target Makari, so you couldn't target the unit in some infinite loop. And then like the Monster Hunter strat technically didn't say when the +1 to wound ended, so you could just like spend 2 CP, get +1 wound against that target for the rest of the game, which was not really what was intended. In terms of like the kind of the biggest changes in how the army is going to play, they officially said that trucks can now carry specialist mobs, which fixes the issue with truck boys not being able to go into trucks, but it also opens up the option to put other specialist infantry mobs in there. So like boom boys or burner boys or mad boys, any of that kind of stuff can go in there now. They clarified how the Goff trait works with causing extra hits on 6s with brutal but cunning. So that was kind of cool. And then they also updated all of the Orc entries from the Imperial Armor Compendium. So all the Forge World stuff in Orcs also got updated, which was great. The big thing was like the War Boss on Warbike. He had both the keywords of War Boss and Speed Boss, which meant that technically he could call either of the Wogs. They've changed him so that he is just a Speed Boss. He lost the War Boss keyword and ability. He gained an invuln save naturally, so that's really good because invuln saves are huge. They took away things like Ramshackle from the kill tank, but the reality is Ramshackle, leaving the kill tank wasn't that big a deal, because if you weren't strength 8, you were only going to wound it on 5s anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. They cleaned up a lot of the special rules on the other vehicles, make sure they all got rid of Daka Daka, and they added the WOG rule. So it's just kind of I would say a quality of life update and just kind of cleaning things up. There's a few questions they still haven't answered out there, so I'm hoping to hear back soon in terms of like attack squigs. Are there extra attacks when you use Brutal but Cunning? Do they become extra attacks with the main weapon, or do they just stay as the squig attacks? Or, how did that kind of stuff work? So we'll see on that. There's the Green Tide secondary. They haven't defined what the table quarters are supposed to look like. And that's kind of the big question, is like, can I draw some weird, parallel lines and be like, I have 4 quarters of the table, but they're in rectangles and they end in my deployment zone. So, that nonsense. So folks are kind of still waiting to hear for a few more things out there. So we'll see if they get around to answering those. But in terms of your ITC recap for this week, hitting the 40K competitive track first, number 1 is still the boy king himself, John Lennon. Number 2 is still Sean Naden. Number 3 is Brad Chester. Number 4 is Mark Hurdle. And number 5 is our man from the future himself, Anthony Vanilla. And that's his name now. He's going to be the man from the future, because I screwed that up, but I'm just going to make it a thing now. So
just
sorry.
Run with it. Just run with it.
Maybe it'll stick like the Boy King.
Yep.
That's what I'm
there hasn't been a lot of other, movement, which is kind of, but there's not a lot of events happening that last weekend, so I didn't expect a lot of movement. So same story for the hobby track. Number 1, Lee Harris. Number 2, JT Steger. Number 3, Scott Boucher. Number 4, Nicholas Wenker. And number 5, Noah Bedome. Noah's been cranking away on those AdMech. He still has some dreams. We'll see if he can make them come to reality. In the AOS competitive track, number 1 is Anthony Trentinelli. Number 2, James O'Brien. Number 3, Noe Aquino. Number 4, Ramon Saliva. And number 5, Jack Ballard. And Noe and Ramon, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please let me know. I've asked that so many times now and not gotten a response that I begin to wonder if the AOS community doesn't listen to signals.
I wonder, truly.
If they don't, I'm hurt. Number for the AOS hobby track, we've got Noe Aquino again. Number 2, Nick Garcia. Number 3, Christopher Hernandez. Number 4, Christopher Daughtry. And number 5, Ramon Saliva. And that is it for your ITC recap this week. Now, we did put out the call for listener questions. We did not get, I think we only got one. And I think I already answered it, which was basically the Orc FAQ. So, chat, this is your chance. This is your moment. Throw us some questions. In the meantime, Kicker and Shelby, do you have any burning topics you want to talk about?
I mean,
I want a cricket on the soundboard. Is that an option?
I mean, we have not reached the tier level for crickets yet.
Well, curses.
All right, I will throw something out there to get the conversation started while we're waiting. I have been watching. I'm gonna pull out my Reese here. Just give me a second. Hey guys, it's me, Reese. I'm here to talk about old anime. I've been really enjoying Black Lagoon lately. That's been a great show. But now I'm kind of done with that show and I need a new one. What does everyone suggest in kind of that adult anime realm?
That was really, really solid.
Yeah.
I'm very disturbed.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
In terms of the questions, would Shelby buy a Dragon McFarlane model? If McFarlane Toys made a dragon, would you buy it?
So dragons aren't unique to the 40K universe, though, right? Like a Space Marine or an Orc style 40K like Orc, that's very, very unique. So far, the dragons that they've shown that they're going to come out with are just, dragons.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It would depend on how awesome it looks and how big it is and how much it costs. The answer is a solid maybe. That's where I'm at.
So Seth, I mean, because you've obviously got some shelf candy, as we've been calling it. Like, do you buy any of this stuff as like an investment kind of thing? Like, do you actually have hopes and dreams that this will gain value over time, or is it purely just to satisfy?
No, like I don't. I more buy stuff because I'm afraid I'm gonna kind of miss out.
So you have FOMO. That's your driving.
Oh yeah. I very much like. I didn't have FOMO until about 4 years ago. I sold off an Iron Hands army. Like I built a whole Iron Hands army, got all the cool Forge World bits and all the GW upgrade bits, and really made a really nice Iron Hands army. We were moving into this house, so I sold off a lot of 40K, and then I regretted selling that army like almost immediately, just because I had put so much work into that project. And then now I'm like, well, I can't get a lot of that stuff anymore because it was out of production. Like I had old out of production like Tech Marine Iron Hand stuff. And so now like I'm just mostly focusing on my orcs. And so like I'll just buy things now because I have the FOMO. I'm like, I might want that one day, and I would rather have it on the shelf than have to go pay silly eBay prices.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that makes me sad.
It needed to be done. There were things in life going on outside of that, and we needed the money. So when you have a bunch of armies, you sell off some.
Back to your anime question really quickly.
Yeah.
Just some rapid fire stuff to see if you've watched it, because I'm behind all of these suggestions if you haven't already seen them.
I've been trying to keep track. What?
Have you seen Jujutsu Kaisen?
No. What is that? More importantly, I have a rule. I don't listen to subs. I only do dubs.
I'm pretty sure it has a dub. I'm like 95% sure it has a dub. So does Demon Slayer, but I'm pretty sure you've already seen Demon Slayer.
I don't think I have.
Oh my gosh, you've got to see this shit. Sorry. Demon Slayer has got to be number one. It's even got a movie. That movie's amazing.
Wait, what is Demon Slayer? I'm sorry, I've never heard of Demon
It's
Slayer.
so good. Okay, so it is an anime. All of these are newer animes.
Right,
but I would still classify them as adult because they are Very, very sad and slightly traumatic. So Demon Slayer is, in a nutshell, about a kid who's not, this isn't really a spoiler because it happens like in 2 minutes into the episode. His family is dead. His sister is a demon. They go off slaying demons. It's pretty cool and very graphic. And
I feel like maybe I watched the first episode of that one.
And it didn't catch you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Other than that, Attack on Titan, I haven't actually watched because I know it's absolutely gruesome. But if you haven't watched Attack on Titan, I think that's a really solid
I could not get through Attack on Titan.
Really?
It was monologue-y as all monologue-y. I couldn't handle it.
Fair enough. Then the last one that you haven't tried is Jujutsu Kaisen. It's pretty cool. It's also kind of supernatural-y. I'm trying to think of a good comparison, but I honestly don't know of one. It's equal parts fun. If you kind of like the sort of protagonist in animes that is overly powerful, can't really be defeated, and is absurdly likable, like Deku in My Hero Academia, then you might enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen.
I do very much enjoy My Hero, so cool. That might be something on the list. But we have some non-anime related questions.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, because I'm just like totally confused here. I have no idea what we're talking
about.
Sorry.
So there was a question about the Orc FAQ clarifying. Do you feel they need to clarify these Quicksaur's mortal wound on sixes rule? Because technically speaking, when they do a 6 to wound, it's mortal wounds and it stops before the inflict damage steps, so then they would technically recycle with brutal but cunning. So I think the intention is clear, but I think they certainly could add that into the FAQ to say, yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Wait, real fast, because this is an opportunity. Rules and intent as intended, or rules as written. Go, Seth. You and then Shelby. How do you play by? Like, what do you personally follow?
Rules as intended.
I
prefer intent, just because anytime that someone's usually arguing rules as written, it's either makes some rule not work at all, like truck boys don't get in trucks, or it's some ridiculously overpowered combo. Because the intent is never to be usually that crazy. So I
think there are some exceptions, but for the most part, play by intent.
Yeah. I mean, we move models by intent. We tell our opponent, hey.
There was another question that came up that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Gen Con. GW has said they're going to preview some new stuff at Gen Con. What do you guys think?
Yes. That is this weekend, by the way, KR Quinn. You are correct.
They're setting up right now.
I think they're definitely going to tell us what the last 2 codexes are going to be that's coming out at the end of the year.
That's a good call.
That's 100%. Like, right? It's got to be. They're probably also going to be like, look at all these new shows for Warhammer Plus that you can watch. We're sure they're great.
Yeah,
and the Gen Con is a big convention that's all sorts of tabletop games. It's not just like big war games. It could be anything. I think they're going to push a lot for Kill Team, or at least some of their other non-main game systems, just because there's a big crowd of people there that don't really care about 40K, but might like some of the other smaller boxed games they release. So I'd put money on it that Kill Team will probably have another big announcement, because I think they're coming out with more stuff for that throughout the year.
I can see that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe if they make more orc product right now, I may cry though, because my wallet is really
no more orcs. I think they're done with orcs for a little while.
So sorry, really, really quick off-topic question: are you going to make any conversions out of the new Cruel Boys stuff?
No.
Okay, just curious, because they're all really cool.
They're so cool.
Don't do many conversions for my orcs. I do like conversions for some characters, and that's about it. So I might dip into the pool that if they make something that I really want to do for character wise, but I don't heavily convert my orcs. I'm a weird orc player in that aspect. I build most of the stuff just straight out of the box.
Cool, awesome. Just curious.
I think there was maybe one more question that buzzed by, and I can't remember what it was now. There was one. Which build type do you feel? Orc Strength, Lion, Speedwog, or Boy Spam MSU is all I see talked about. I think those are the. If you want to read more or learn more about what I think about orcs, just come over to my YouTube channel. I talk ad nauseum about it. But the bullet point is, I think the Speedwog buggy list is strong, but it has some obvious counters. And so I think it's probably going to have a cap in terms of how good it can be in the meta. I think a combat-based MSU infantry build is going to have more ability for a strong player to leverage that for some wins. So I think those are kind of your main options right now. I'm trying to force myself into playing into that MSU combat style myself, so that I try to get better as a player.
Seth, I have a project for you for next week. Maybe do a little summary of what is in the meta right now. Is it MSU? Like, I know obviously Horde doesn't seem to be king right now, but maybe just like kind of compare some lists. Maybe get on the phone with the Falcon.
I think we could arrange that.
All right, awesome.
Cool.
I'm going to have to send him a phone first because he doesn't have one.
Call,
Bruh.
call.
But I can teach birds to use phones. I can't confirm I can do this.
Call.
Caw. All right. Well, I think that is it for tonight. We have been going on for almost 50 minutes already. I know this is supposed to be a 30-minute show, but y'all just love us
It's all
to
my
talk.
fault.
So,
It's all
so
my
we
fault.
just keep going. We just love chatting with each other.
I was so silent.
Welcome to every time Shelby and I try to do a role-playing game together where we just end up talking for like an hour and a half, and then we're like, oh, we should start the game.
Yeah.
So don't forget, next week you can get your tickets for the New Orleans Open. That is Thursday. You said 11 p.m.
11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
11 a.m. You know, sure, that makes more sense than p.m. because, you know, who would want to buy tickets in the middle of the night? So get those. They're going to go fast. You can get the three of us there. We'll be doing autographs. We'll have a little, a meet and greet session. I'm trying to act like we're big stars at a con, Shelby, where they have like,
huge stars.
I'm going to be at this table from.
I don't want this. I don't.
I will be working the registration booth, slaving there. So
yes, check out the FLGN. Tomorrow's the Thursday show, and then the cycle begins again. So keep an eye on every other show. I know that Grim After Dark made some fun of us last night. Honestly, I
Did
turned
they
the show
really?
on. Oh, they always have a joke about us somewhere. I turned it
Do
on
we
after
need to
that
start
joke already.
including our own?
What?
yeah, of
Do
course.
we need to include our own jokes about them?
Oh no, they are a joke. They are a joke. It's not even worth talking about.
Jeez. Shots fired.
Boom.
All
Drop,
right, all right.
dropping the mic. No, I'm not dropping the mic because that was really upset. Richard Dittman. Final thoughts for tonight. Seth, Shelby, Kicker. I'm Seth.
And I'm Kicker. And
I read the
Shelby.
notes too literally.
I generally like our co-host on other shows and stuff. Just saying that. Seth can speak for himself. All right, bye.
Love you guys.
Well, thank you so much for joining us in this very professional ending to this episode of Signals from the Frontline. We really hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, guys.